is a presentation of the iRacing Esports Network.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Watkins Glenn International, and welcome to Apex Racing TV's coverage on the iRacing Esports Network of the British sim racers Mazda MX5 Cup Series. We're here in upstate New York, getting set for 4 races coming up today around probably one of the quickest tracks on the schedule. It is the classic Cup layout, I should say, today. Basically, it's a straight-out blast up to the carousel at the top of the hill. You can see on the track map there. And then through the penultimate corner and then the final corner, and they're going to do it all over again for 4 races with a reverse grid included as well. So expect a whole lot of excitement, and we'll try and see what we can read into this track when the BSR TC comes here on Thursday night. Joining me, as I'm back in the commentary box for the 4 races tonight, it's iRacing Road Pro Series champion Alex Simpson. But first, Chaz Draycott and Chaz, Watkins Glen. We just said it's going to be one of the quickest circuits of the year, and there's not going to be too much there's not going to be too much room in the West breathing space for these guys, because they're not going to be getting on the brake pedal too much around this circuit tonight.
Yeah, there's not going to be many choices for them really, other than to slipstream each other and just see if they can get something done at the last second. It's not really a track where you see a lot of moves into corners. It's more just sort of getting it done down the straight, really. We've seen these guys here earlier in the year. They were on the classic boot layout, and it was even more exciting then. But I think with this shorter layout and a couple more laps to put in the books, it's going to be a really, really mixed evening.
Alex Simpson joins us. You're racing here in the BSR TC on Thursday. Is there anything you can gain from watching tonight's broadcast about how you're going to approach the circuit?
No, not really. I think I'll glean all I need from past broadcasts, to be honest, around that circuit. So, yeah, it's going to be fast, it's going to be frantic. First couple of laps are going to be really, really sketchy with a pack super close together and lots of slipstreaming going on. So, yeah, I think, I'll keep an eye out tonight, but I think I'm ready for, a bit of a lottery, I think, tomorrow on Thursday, to be fair.
Yeah, looking forward to that one. What happened last week, and what does it mean in terms of the championship standings going into this?
Yeah, so Road America last week, we actually had 3 pretty decent races, to be fair. A couple of little accidents here and there, but for the most part, some really good racing. We'll talk about championship standings. We'll bring them up on screen right now. So Jack McIntyre leads the way on 2,251 points. Dylan Chipolewski behind him. He had a bit of a sort of shaky meeting on 01 DNF, that's for sure. He's doing a stream tonight. Do go check that out as well. It's an amazing setup that Stellion's got. And Kip Cooper, as he is in this series, 1988, Karen Steve Hefford. So there, some names that we obviously are familiar with being at the top, but definitely some people who we would thought would be a bit further down. We're kind of used to seeing sort of Anwar and Brian right up there as well. So yeah, the Cooper team have been doing really well, so I'm surprised some of them aren't a bit further up in this championship. So yeah, lots gone on with obviously DNS and things like that, and probably post-race penalties and more.
Cheers, Alex. Qualifying session just coming to an end then. We can also look at the AM category too. It's a little bit closer there in terms of the battle at the top. It's 60 points between Scott Malcolm and Ben Mears. Then Carl Hardy third, just under 100 points behind. Then Rob Graham in fourth, David Ayres fifth, Craig Jones sixth, and then Mick Barry, Carl Jacquelet, Anthony Mott, and Joe McDonald. So that's the state of play in the AM category. Good 600 points between the top 10. And to the grid now, Chaz, where Nick McCarron and Dan Hunt are pretty much inseparable. In fact, the top MX5 are separated by less than a tenth as the grid starts to take shape with just under 90 seconds to go before we get going here.
Yeah, it just shows you the nature of the track, really. With it being a shorter circuit and obviously people trying to use the slipstream to their advantage in qualifying, it's really bunched the grid up. And I mean, half a tenth in this sort of scenario could cost you 3 positions or even more than that, I suppose. When you get to the midfield, it looks like it's even closer. But it's going to be a very good rotation of people's race pace around here. And it's going to be a mature drive by whoever wins these races. We've seen it before where you have to sort of make sure you're not in the lead coming onto the last lap, so to speak. So you don't want the people behind you to get the slipstream. You want to be the guy benefiting from that. And hopefully we'll see people driving maturely enough tonight and hopefully avoid an incident, because with it being flat out down that back straight, we do see a lot of crashes up the S's in most series that come here. So let's just hope that these guys can keep it out of the wall for that.
You and me did the Phoenix race a few weeks ago. That was on the oval there. I think it's probably going to be pretty similar. The style of racing that we've got here today. It's all going to be pretty strategic. Here we go then. You saw the grid. Here come the lights. And we're away. It's a great start from second position on the grid. Dan Hunt might have an opportunity to get the lead into the first corner. He's on the racing line, and he might just have the position here. A good start by Pierre Van Gool and Stelin Chepelevsky too. Kip Stevens is the one that loses out, and it's going to be Dan Hunt that goes round the outside of the first corner and takes the lead straight away. So Hunt leads, McCarron second, then it's Steve Hefford, Jason Cooper, and looks like we've got through the first corner without anybody getting quarter panelled off into the wall. It is very narrow through there. And as we look from one of the marshals' posts heading up the hill, the slipstreaming is about to begin, Chaz, for the first time today.
Yep, it's going to be the round one then of the National Slipstreaming Championships down this straight. You can see everyone going over to the right-hand side, chasing down Dan Hunt. See Kip Stevens actually staying out on the left there. 3 wide for the lead then. That's Cooper going between Hefford and Hunt. Hunt's going to be the one that loses out here. Hefford's got to be really careful on the outside just in case they're 3 wide behind. Chepelevsky in the middle. And that's, is that McCarron on the inside? It is, isn't it, with the orange highlights? I always try to not get those boys mixed up and manage it somehow. Josh Thompson's in there as well, 4th place at the moment. He's side by side with Hunt. And I think this is going to be the state of play for most of the race. There's always going to be a big battle near the front. Let's just hope it doesn't come to blows.
Yeah, there's somewhere there. If we're looking at the same cameras, there's somewhere through that fence. And through we go into the penultimate corner. Oh, Hefford's off. Cooper off as well. Oh, dear.
Oh.
Into the wall goes Steve Hefford. The race is over and it caused an absolute melee behind.
Yeah, hopefully people can carry on avoiding that. Steve Hefford bouncing end over end there. It seems like it's pretty clear. There's another car in the wall just after that as well, actually. Not quite sure who that was. Who's gone down the order? Jack McIntyre, Chepelevsky as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
2 big names.
Yeah, 2 championship contenders, of course. Jack McIntyre leading the points going into this one. And 3 cars have had to go back to the pits. In fact, 4 of them have. Mikey Key, Carl Jacquelet, Craig Evans and Steve Hefford all having to tow back to the pits after that penultimate corner mishap. And it's now it's separated things out a little bit now. Josh Thompson has a 1.1 second lead, but Alex, 1.1 seconds in the Mazda, that's probably not enough for you to be home and dry, really, from the pack behind.
No, not at all. It's definitely going to get a draft. From about 1.7 seconds back, you're going to get a little bit of something to be able to close back up, especially here. So I would think round here it's going to be almost impossible to break this draft. So a few more accidents might do it, mind you.
Yeah, might break things up a little bit there. As we can see, they're just giving it everything, trying to take as much track as possible. Jamie Ayres now up to 2nd place. He's actually recently joined my team, Thrust Vector, and he's still representing the Momo boys in this championship. It's part of the agreement that we all had, but he's got Dan Hunt right on his back end at the moment then, with Cooper behind him. And then he's actually one of the only cars that's in the position where he started. Other than that, it's Benjamin Mears down in 16th. I'll say that. He's just lost the place and gained it back, so that might not stay that way forever. But Hunt right on the back of Jamie Ayres' car. The front of that MX5 might actually turn red if he carries on.
Well, we go on to lap 3. Fastest lap of the race by Kip Cooper in 8th. Yeah, that's going to be one way of trying to differentiate between the 2 Coopers on the timing tail on the left-hand side. We've got the heads-up display as well on the right, so we can see what speed they'll be getting up to. Don't think there's a bit gear in the Mazda MX-5, so ignore 6, 7 and 8 on the right-hand side, but we'll see what speeds these guys can get up to. Josh Thompson had a 1.1 second lead this time a lap ago. It's pretty much nothing, and he's now officially lost the lead because Jamie Ayres is through into the lead. Dan Hunt might push him into 2nd place as well. Josh Thompson might all of a sudden throw it up the inside. We can't really see on the inside, but it looks... Oh, he's still there as well. So Josh Thompson up the inside. He's going to try and get that 2nd place back, and he duly does, and it's now Jason Cooper, trying to take the third position away as we go now up the short chute and into the penultimate corner here. Not too many corners around this circuit, and I think it's a bit like Thruxton, I think, Chaz, where I think we've only got one corner that's a left-handed.
Yeah, it is literally just that one. I mean, counting the S's, of course, but it's not really a corner, is it? Let's face it, you're flat out up there in these things. It's just really good to see these guys still bunched up all the way back to Kip Cooper there, 8th place. And I've noticed there's actually 3 Coopers on the left-hand side, and there's Luke, Jack, and not Jack, is it? It's Jason Cooper, isn't it? I apologise. And then Kip, obviously, as well. Hunt down the inside of Thompson then. Ayres is watching this behind him and just hoping for the best, but he's just going to get held up a little bit now. You've got to be tactical up here, though, because you don't want to get too close to the back of the guy in front, because the S's can limit your chances, really. Because you're turning as well, you need to be more careful. And you want to make sure that you've got enough of a run from a bit further back to get the advantage down the straight, although Ayres has actually done a really good job around the outside there. He's got past Thompson, and I think he's got no help in front of him now, so he's side by side with Hunt, and we'll have to see how they go 2 by 2. Might even go 3 or even 4 wide down here, Alex.
Yeah, it looks a bit scary. I think this is what I'm going to be in for come Thursday. But as long as the guys give each other just a little bit of room going into the carousel, we're going to be okay. And indeed they have. It's when they start to pinch from the outside in that it causes problems. And Ayres was sensible there.
I think we're probably not the only people in the house that are wincing right now watching this. Absolutely great stuff. These guys are door to door. Oh, Ayres is coming over on Hunt, and he's in the wall. It's a real shame. Is he going to keep it? No, it's gone. Absolutely gone. I don't think Hunt will be too happy with that, to be fair. I don't even think Ayres knew he was that close to him, but real shame there. I don't know whether that was... well, I'd say it was on Jamie, to be fair. He did come across. Oh, Thompson clips the wall on the exit. Really hairy stuff by Josh Thompson, always on the limit, and it's no different today. He's obviously going to lose out a bit of momentum, and Ayres is down the inside going into turn 1. On the brakes, he gets it done, turns in, and away he goes.
He's going to try and use all that stuff on all that tarmac runoff area on the exit, but it hasn't really helped him at all in terms of speed because Thompson is right back with him again. Did almost see brake lights glowing there through the first corner. I don't know if he's trying to help. Oh, he's trying to get a push. It's just going to allow Jason Cooper to get even closer here in the Swift Cooper Esports car. We could have another 3 wide scenario here down the back straight. Jack McIntyre, also we just mentioned that earlier, championship leader. He's in the pits and he's not going to benefit at all from the reverse grid. Thompson on the outside. On the inside it's Jamie Ayres. And then Jason Cooper pushing Jamie Ayres as fast as he can go. I'm sure these guys have managed to tune the setup so they're not bouncing off the limiter. But they're going to be pretty darn close when they get to the end of this straight. And in the second group, it's got Adam McNally, Kip Cooper and Peter Van Gaal trying to keep up with these guys. And I'm sure in the space of a lap, they'll be right back with them. Now we're going into the penultimate corner again to complete a lap. It is one of the shortest laps of the year in terms of the road courses in this BSR MX5 Autumn Cup. And Ayres does what Hefford did in the first lap, except this time, Chaz, he doesn't hit the wall.
Yeah, he's done a little bit of a better job of it there, although he nearly washes out wide into Thompson there. But as you said, you can see now McNally, Cooper, Van Gaal, they're all catching back up again, and this will become a big sort of 7-way fight for the lead once again. It is a very scary curb as well in that penultimate corner on the outside. You do sort of trust it sometimes and think, yeah, just get 2 wheels on that, it'll be all right. But there's a really big lump in the middle of it, and it can launch a car in the air. And especially in something like this MX5, you can find yourself bouncing back down to earth quite suddenly. And I think that's probably what happened to Steve earlier. You just have to really sort of risk it sometimes if you want to take the optimum line. But these guys are so close to one another. We know that the quarter panel's quite sort of ominent. I'm not quite sure what word that is, but oh well. It's quite sort of, let's say, prominent. There we go. We'll use the same part of it in any car on iRacing, really, but especially the MX5 with it being rear-wheel drive, all the weight's over the front, and these guys are really, really risking it. But you've got Cooper at the front and Cooper in second now. To third. Oh, he's made contact with Ayres and he's going to come back across. Is he? He does. Well, I don't know whether he missed Jason Cooper or not, or I think he did. Yeah. Ayres has got front left damage though, so there must have been some contact there. But it was Kip Cooper, I think, that came across. Could have. Might be a bit of retribution really on Ayres because he came across on Hunt earlier. Let's have another look there. Oh, he just flicks it to the right, doesn't it? Oh, how they didn't make contact there, yeah. I don't know.
That had the potential to be a whole lot worse, but it has been an absolute godsend for Adam McNally because he now leads by about 1.1 seconds, similarly to what Josh Thompson had at one point. And we know what happened there. And somehow everybody managed to escape without picking up too much damage and all of that. I thought for certain they were going to be heading to that inside Armco barrier, but they all managed to survive, and they've all managed to carry on again. So we've just completed, we're over halfway through, and The amount of runoff area that they're using there, Chaz, and that Armco barrier on the exit of the first corner, it comes up so quickly that they've got to get back onto the racetrack before they end up hitting it.
Yeah, they've got to be careful as well, because in this series you can get disqualified for incident points. So if you do obviously clip the outside or on the grass, and if you do, obviously if you're not familiar with iRacing, if you do go off track, you do count what is called 1 incident point, and you get a certain limit over the course of a race. This championship does have those limits, so if you do go off track enough times, then you will be disqualified there and then on the spot. So these guys do have to be careful about that runoff, because the grass is just squared off. It's not sort of like a smooth approach to it, so you can clip it and get quite a cheeky little off track as well in some scenarios. But just a quick shout to Adam McNally though. He's gained 11 places to lead this race, so he did start 12th on the grid. He's obviously worked his way up really well, but you can see the difference between him and Van Gool there down that straight. It's just such a closing speed, it's unreal.
Incident limit in this series is 20. I think in the BSRTC it's 11, so Alex won't have that much to play with when it comes to the BSRTC on Thursday night. They'll be racing around this circuit. Second
15,
race
15.
15. Oh, okay. That's a bit more than it used to be. I think I raced in the BSRTC when I was 11, and that's probably why I got disqualified.
I think that was when it was. I think that was when it was 4 races. So right. And it was much shorter race, so they reduced it down. But now we're 20 minutes. Yeah. They give us an extra 4 to play with.
Probably still not enough, is it?
Sometimes.
Not 1 minute.
Here we go then. Adam McNally, that 1.1 second advantage has been quickly wiped out. And it's 2x2. Pick your partner, because here we go. Down the back straight. Who's going to be coming out of the carousel with the lead here? Is it going to be Peter Van Gool and Adam McNally? Or is it going to be Kip Cooper and Nick McKerran? Or Josh Thompson? He's found the way into the fray too, going into the carousel. It's McNally up the inside. He's got the preferred line to hold on to his lead. Josh Thompson's going to try and follow him through as well as we go out the right-hander. There's no runoff area. Sorry, there is a runoff area now. It's all been tarmacked over in real life. But here on the iRacing version, we've still got the gravel traps, we've still got the walls, we've still got the grass as well, as many drivers have found out. And now McNally, they all go off. Chaz, so does Van Gool too.
Yeah,
trying to find everything they can.
Oh, contact with Van Gool and Stevens. Somehow they've still not ended up in a massive accident there. Again, only the sort of 2 main culprits of the accident have any sort of issues. That's amazing that they've not ended it in a worse way. It's a shame, though, for Stevens. Obviously, he's flying down the order now. He's Kip Cooper in this championship as well, I must reiterate that. Josh Thompson, then, lives to fight another day. Second place, you can see, there you go. There's that bit of grass I mentioned as, well, Van Gool just goes, oh, well, sod it, I'm going to get one anyway. May as well go straight on. Jamie Ayres, 5th place, chasing him down with Luke Cooper behind them as well. Sorry, behind McKerran, sorry.
Oh, smoke.
Car on the inside looks like an Automec car. Who's
Benjamin Nias, is it? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
The Belgian, who is fighting for the Pro-Am Championship in the BSR MX5, having a spin down at the first corner, dropping down to 23rd place as a result. Looks like he hasn't picked up too much damage, but for now they carry on. Here's a battle towards the rear end of the top 10. It's Craig Jones versus it's Craig Jones versus Max Wright. Wright has gained 10 positions since the start of this race, so the Automec not kill car doing pretty well. And he might be about to lose one of those positions if Craig Jones has anything to say about it. That first corner, it's almost like the first chicane at Adelaide, really, in terms of the incident points. You can use it quite a few times, but if you get close to that incident limit, you just have to start not cutting as much of it as you want to. And now with just over 2.5 minutes to go, gap is starting to come back down at the front again. Adam McNally had the gap up to 1.5 seconds after what happened in the final corner with Kip Cooper Stevens, might as well say. But now Josh Thompson is coming back towards him, and so is everybody else as well, with Jason Cooper, Van Gool, and Jamie Ayres all still in that, and Nick McKerran as well, all still in that leading 6 tuplets, or whatever you want to say of those guys.
It's good to see also the once again Momo, 3 cars there working together. They've got such a great teamwork ethic between them, and they always help each other out. They've got really good communications with each other. I mean, I've heard a few of their chats while I've been seeing their sort of broadcasts, and the work they put in is absolutely outstanding. And they're obviously going to be trying to attack Cooper, Thompson, and McNally at the front, but not long left to do it now. But we look right now at Jack Ashton. He's in the fight with Rob Graham, who is also going to be trying to chase down Craig Jones, who's the lead AM driver at the moment. Ashton gets head down the straight. In there you've got Giddings as well, Simon Nicastro, Dan Hunt's in there as well. Nicastro in that bright green MX5 on the inside, but round the outside then Ashton seems to get it done. Now, if you're on the long layout, that would have been all right. But, he just watches wide. There was really nearly contact there. I don't know whether Ashton would have known how close they were, but if he would, that would have been a frightening one. He's on the outside now. Giddings is there as well. Rob Graham's getting squeezed in the middle. You've got to think he's going to be first on the brakes. He is. Ashton's a bit later on the brakes, but around the outside, Jordan Giddings, great stuff as Nick Castro goes for a rallycross route there. Does he save it? Yes, he does. It's bunching up a little bit behind him there as well. You've got Nathan Davies and Dan Hunt involved. Just going to have to be really careful through that last corner. It's very easy to lose it. As you can see, one of the Automec cars, that's Scott Malcolm diving out there in 16th place.
Final lap then. We've just got under a minute to go, so this will be the last lap of the race here as Josh Thompson closes in on Adam McNally. Can probably hear the Jaws music. He's probably doing it as well. The man from the Isle of Man is going to go to the outside of McNally. It's all going to be about the carousel then, isn't it? And he'll have the inside line going into the penultimate corner, because you don't really see too many overtakes getting done there. Thompson squeezing McNally, but he's still there. And he knows it, because he has to cut to the outside going into the carousel, but he's trying to pinch McNally on the inside, and it's resulted in contacts. And they've all spun on his collective, one of the Momo cars as well. Thompson hits the front, but Jason Cooper now wants the lead too, Chaz.
Yeah, Jason Cooper's going to be trying to take advantage of this now. He's on the outside of Thompson. You've got to hope Thompson doesn't come across him again as well. So close going into the pulling up on the corner. Side by side, nearly kissing wing mirrors there. Third place now is Nick McCarron. You've got to think that he wants to get a good run out of this last corner. Thompson's going to go slightly defensive, just keeps it nice and hugged to the inside. Doesn't hit the wall on the outside like he did a few laps ago. Cooper's going to try and get the run to the line, but I don't think he's quite going to do it. And McCarron's going to get third. Great win for Josh Thompson there. Real shame it ended in contact with McNally. We might have to have a quick look back at that, but I feel that McNally was as far over as he could be, but we'll have to see. Like I say, can't make too many decisions yet. As across the line, great battle there between Davis, Graham, Ashton, Hunt, Knowles, and there's just hundreds of them coming across the line in one go there.
I think it was Jamie Ayres, the one that got clattered into by McNally. Here's a replay of what happened then. Thompson on the outside, looking. Oh, McNally got a twitch on, didn't he, on the inside? Yeah. And nothing Thompson could have done there. And there's what happened to Jamie Ayres. And he couldn't even complete the rest of the lap, could the Momo driver, and he had to tow back to the pits. So, not the end of the race he would have wanted. He may be in a bit of luck because I think Simonina Castro had issues too. So, if we do get a full -1, he might be on the pole for the second race. But that was everything we expected. Here comes Michael Key in the Result Clothing car. I think he's the last car currently running. He's going to come across the line and take 22nd place. And similar to what happened at Phoenix, Chaz, we had 31 cars starting, but only 22 look like they're going to cross the line under their own power.
Yeah, it's a bit of a wipeout in that one, but at the end of the day, these guys are going to be really feisty on a track like this, where they know that slipstreaming is what's going to win you the race. You've got to sort of battle for your track position more than most other tracks, really. In other places, you can be a bit more patient with it and maybe make more opportunities at corners, but obviously this track, having very few of those, it's we've got to play it very differently as we now have the results on screen.
Indeed we do. Let's run you through them. Josh Thompson wins the race. He was in the lead briefly, then he lost it, then he got it back in the end on the final lap of the race, despite the contact with Adam McNally, but he was able to get it done. Jason Cooper in second, Nick McCarron third, and then Peter Van Gool fourth. Luke Cooper finishing in fifth, and then Craig Jones, the highest of the AM drivers, finishing in sixth. Then two Automec Not Killed cars with Max Rice and Rob Graham, seventh and eighth. Good drives from those two. They both gained 11 and 12 places respectively. Then Nathan Davis in ninth, 14 gains for him, and Jack Ashton finishing in 10th. He gained 15 places as well. Dan Hunt, despite what happened to him, he managed to finish in 11th place in the end. Peter Knowles and Tyler Lugo Vickery, 12th and 13th, two AM drivers, both gaining 14 and 18 places. David Ayres in 14th place. He started there. One of two drivers to do that, in fact. Jordan Giddings in 15th place. Joe McDonald in 16th. Scott Malcolm, the other driver to finish where they started. And then the cars that really had issues during the race. Adam McNally, he crossed the line in the end after the contacts in the carousel with he and Josh Thompson. Then moving on back, 19th place, Benjamin Mears. And then 20th for Kip Cooper, Mikael Garcia 21st, and then Michael Key 22nd. Jamie Ayres one lap down in 23rd, the Welshman. Carl Hardy 24th, Simonina Castro, the last car, one lap down in 25th. So if we do get a full -1, it will be Hardy on the pole. And then the cars that didn't finish the race, Mick Barry in 26th, Stelian Chepelevsky 6 laps down, McIntyre, championship leader, out very early on in the final corner. Disaster, really. Then Craig Evans in 28th, Steve Hefford, the man that started it all really, in 30th, and Carl Jacquelet, who looks like he may have even crashed and been eliminated of the race before that even. He finished 31st, 11 laps down, bottom of the pile in that opening race. Time for the first reverse grid of the evening. First of 3 reverse grids that we'll be doing tonight, because it is, of course, 4 races in the BSR MX5. And we'll hand over to Alex Simpson, who can get the wheels spinning and put the driver onto pole position.
Well, thank you very much. Best bit of the night for me. Spin the wheel. Cue 80 Stars game show music. For those that have never watched the show before and don't know what this is all about, so of course we just the numbers on the screen is what we will reverse onto pole position for race 2. We'll go away. We'll have a little break. They'll set the grid up, and that's what we'll get. The red minus whatever is effectively a full minus however many places. So we just count back 3 or 4 people, 3 or 4, and go from there. So if you're just wondering what the heck this is, that's what it is. Give it a spin. 25th, so relatively small. No, it's not. It's a full -4.
Oh, full -4 then. Oh, that's not good news for Jamie Ayres, because that will not include him. Simone Nicastro was the last car 1 lap down, so -1 will be Hardy, -2 Jamie Ayres, -3 Mikey Key, -4 will be Mikel Garcia. So it'll be Garcia on the pole for the second race of the day. And Chaz, what does the rest of the top 5 look like?
Well, we've got Kip Cooper-Stevens, who will be starting second on the grid, which is always an interesting one for him. He's quick when he starts near the front, and he doesn't have to battle through too many people, and obviously after contact in that last one, he'll be thankful for that. Ben Mears will be third after his accident as well. He'll also be grateful. Adam McNally, another one that will be grateful for it, and Scott Malcolm as well will be 5th on the grid. So Scott's going to be hoping to catch up with Ben and not let him get too far away when it comes to the AM Championship.
Yeah, it could be an interesting one, this second race, in terms of the championship and in terms of the action on track 2. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be coming up after the break here on the iRacing Esports Network, the BSR MX5 Cup at Watkins Glen International. Welcome back to the second race of the day here in the BSR MX5 Cup here on the iRacing Esports Network. Adam Bath, Chaz Draco, Alex Simpson alongside me, Adam Bath, with just a few seconds to go before we get going. Chaz, what's the grid looking like with just a few seconds to go before we get started here?
Well, I'll fly through it as quickly as we can then. Mikael Garcia's on pole, Kip Cooper Stevens is second, Ben Mears is third, Adam McNally is fourth. He's the best Scotsman in the world, you've got to say that. Scott Malcolm's fifth with Joe McDonald sixth. Jordan Giddings seventh, who just told me that Craig Evans told him it was the last lap in the last race, and it wasn't, so well done, Craig. Dave Ayres was eighth, Tyler Lugo Vickery's ninth, Peter Knowles is 10th. And then you've got Dan Hunt, Jack Ashton, Nathan Davis, Rob Graham, Max Wright, Craig Jones, Luke Cooper, Peter Van Gool, Nick McCarron, and Jason Cooper rounding out your top 20 as the lights are on.
Very good. He's out of breath. Lights out, and we'll and Carl Jack pit later for the second race, but it's going to be Mikael Garcia that's going to lead into the first corner. It's going to be Kip Cooper Stevens versus Ben Mears, duking it out for second place here going through the first corner. Watch out for Adam McNally as well in fourth. He was the one that spun out on the last lap of race one while leading, and he's going to try and get those positions straight away. But here's the second group of cars. They've all decided, oh, there's been a crash in the first corner. That's why. Chaz, Rob Graham involved, Garcia, and a few others too.
Yeah, Jack Colette's gone down to the bottom of the order as well. Tyler Lugo Vickery, Mick Barry. There's quite a couple of Result Clothing cars in there as well too. There's some Mortal cars. Oh yeah, Jack Colette's just gone to the top of the timing screens on mine because he's obviously gone back to the pits. So that's a nice little bit of change of order there. Garcia then second as McNally's at the front of the pack already. Brilliant stuff for him. He's going to be jumping at the opportunity of starting in the front. He wants to obviously try and break that slipstream as quickly as he can. So he'll be hoping that these guys behind all start battling together. And well, they're doing exactly that as we come to the end of lap one already.
Yeah, it didn't take long for McNally to get to the front, probably about 3 or 4 corners. It's going to be everybody else behind as they go through the penultimate corner.
There was a Northern Lights car just off in the background, by the way. I think it might have been Craig Evans. He is dropping down the order still. Yeah. Rob Graham's just gone past him, so he must have had an issue. I think it was out of the carousel as well. There seemed to be some smoke, but cross line at the end of lap one, then it's McNally, Garcia, Mears, Cooper, McDonald, Malcolm, Giddings, Hunt, Davis, and Ashton rounding out your top 10. Really, probably as close together as I read them out. Really, they just nose to tail. Oh no! Round goes Mears. Loses it at turn one. It's easy to do, to be fair, because this corner at turn one, it's got so much camber on it. You can sort of almost trust the car a bit too much and chuck it in, and if you hit the curb, it can bounce it really unevenly and spin the thing. I mean, I spun the Audi R8 GT3 from pole position in the World GT Championship here, so I know how that feels. And Ben will be kicking himself because he's going to lose valuable points to Scott Malcolm, who's in 9th place at the moment in the AM Championship.
Yeah, that first corner has got a bit of a name in real life racing over the years. I remember Kevin Harvick and Juan Pablo Montoya having a bit of a moment there in the first corner back in 2007. I think Danica Patrick had a crash there as well. Here, a bit of contact, speaking of crashing. Somebody's going out very wide. It's Nathan Davis, I think, the Welshman, who have had a bit of issue there. But for the lead, Adam McNally versus Mikael Garcia. Youth Energy versus Mikael Garcia. Not too sure which team he drives, so I think he's just representing himself, the Pro-Am driver.
I think
to the final corner we go.
I think it says OCR white on the side of the car. I recorded a video with Tom Jacobs recently, actually. There was an OCR white car in that, so I'm not quite sure whether that is just the team name or a sponsor. But yeah, he's I think he is representing himself. But obviously, some sort of connection to that team is Kip Cooper Stevens does the fastest lap. That's then replaced by his teammate Luke Cooper in 7th with a 122.2, and then Mac Jackentire. That's Dan Hunt going around, isn't it? Or is it Giddings? Giddings around, isn't it, as well? Yeah.
Oh, and more contact. There's something going up the road. Yes, it is.
Oh, Luke Cooper, that's
McIntyre again, is it? No, he survived.
Thompson's out.
Thompson's done. Van Gool done. Ashton done. It was him in the Youth Energy car, not McIntyre. Yeah, disaster there. 2 separate incidents occurring there. Meanwhile, 2 by 2 for the lead. An inseparable group of 4 going into the carousel. You can notice as well, it's lap 3 of 11. We're down to laps rather than time now. We now know how many laps we can fit into the 20-minute time period. It's going to be Mikael Garcia slightly forcing Adam McNally out wide there, but he's got the inside line for the penultimate corner.
It's great to see the AM driver fighting with the pro driver here. Obviously not much of a split in talent. Garcia really fighting for his position here. Kip Cooper Stevens just got past McDonald in the background there, but McNally's wide on that curb. You've got to be really careful there, as I was saying in race 1. He's got hugged inside. 2 wheels through the last corner. That's going to hurt his momentum down the straight. Garcia seemed to get the car a little bit oversteery on the exit. Now coming down to turn 1, who's going to be later on the brakes? I think Garcia's probably got the better run. Seems like he's just edging in front a tiny bit. I think McNally's going to let him go on the brakes this time and then try and get the slipstream up the back straight.
We'll see if that plan comes to fruition then. At 4 of 11, Davis puts in a new personal best. You can see there on the timing tower, 25.6. Chepelevsky 23.9 on that last lap. Since he survives all the chaos at the start, he is properly flying. 20 positions gained, and these lot could be flying in a moment if they don't behave too well. Down the straight we go. Look at Joe McDonald pushing Kip Cooper-Stevens straight to the front here. Adam McNally fancies some of that action. He's trying to get a bit of slipstream off those guys, and all of a sudden, Mikael Garcia is the one hung out to dry because nobody picked him. It's now Kip Cooper-Stevens that leads, or is it going to be Joe McDonald because he has got the inside line, but Stevens will surely use the banked curve to his advantage and swoop past Joe McDonald and take the lead. Indeed he will, and Mikael Garcia, the shoe is on the other foot now. He's the one trying to get the positions back. He's up to second. McNally is going to get third place. Joe McDonald, who probably led for about half a second, is now back down to fourth.
That's the beauty of this circuit. It's just so many position changes over the course of one lap in the space of so few corners. It's a great track for these cars. It really suits them, to be honest. Chepelevsky, as you can see now, 22 positions gained, just leading that pack behind them. I think it might be a little bit tough for him to break it and catch these guys up that quickly without any slipstream directly in front of him of his own, but I'm sure he'll give it a good go. He's always rapid, as McIntyre does a 1:21.1. So absolutely blistering pace by these boys. Look at him using the runoff area there, trying to avoid the 1Xs. I think that Apex livery car of Nathan Davis got that 1X there as he goes up the S's. He's got Jason Cooper glued to the back end of it with those very bright roll cage and wheels and highlights. As Jamie Ayres down the inside then onto the back straight, he's going to benefit from the slipstream, but Jason Cooper could do the clever thing here and block him in, but he hasn't. And Ayres now goes to the inside behind Chepelevsky. Great stuff.
Goodness me, I've just having a thought that Chepelevsky could escape from these guys and try and catch up with them. You can see in the foreground it's all kicking off there too for the lead. Battles everywhere you look here in the BSR MX5. Looks like something may have just kicked off there as Mikael Garcia takes evasive action for something. It's now McNally back in the lead, Stevens in second, Garcia third, and then Joe McDonald in fourth as in the background. Nathan Davis is defending erratically from Stanley and Chepelevsky. Cheppy looking to the outside now going into the penultimate corner. He's got Jason Cooper just behind it as well, and then Jamie Ayres and Jack McIntyre. So this is a very quick group that are just on the fringes of the top five, and I wonder if they could all work together. They could fancy their chances of catching up, but the guys at the front, they are still doing some quite good lap times. McNally, you can see there, puts in a new personal best, 1:22.6. Everybody else in this second group, they're all in the 22s as well. McIntyre in the 21s. So they continue at that pace. They might just get there before the end, but I think they won't be able to make too much of an impact. We'll wait and see, but you can see now, Chaz, that it's now become a free. Joe McDonald's temporarily getting cut adrift from them.
Yeah, the battles are all the way down the order. As we look at McIntyre here, then he's always been quick in this car as Jack, as Ayres stays out on the outside to help his teammate there, but I think it's just the slipstream helping the lap times at the moment, so they will be closing, but as soon as they've got no slipstream left with this big gap out in front, I don't think they're going to have much progress from there on out. And it's Kip Cooper-Stevenson around the outside of McNally with Mikael Garcia on the outside as well, going for the lead. McNally might still have a bit of an overlap now, obviously being on the inside line. It's the shorter route around the corner and down the straight then. One of many straights on this circuit. Going into the penultimate corner in the background, it looked like they were three wide there, but Chepelevsky's just behind him. Garcia's having a little weave around, looking, see what he can do. Stevens down the inside. Still side by side with McNally. Little bit of room given into the last corner. Then it's McNally on the optimum line. Is he going to clip that curb? Not as well as he did before. Garcia, though, really good run through there. He seems to have it sort of hooked up around that last corner and down the main straight. Should have it sorted, but look at that battle in the background. That's headed by Nathan Davis with Jason Cooper and Chepelevsky, then Ayres, McIntyre, and the other Ayres, spelt differently, in 10th. But Garcia down the inside into turn one. And he's the only one that's not used all that runoff area. McDonald following suit as well. But McNally still somehow leads up the S's then, Adam.
Yeah, this is brilliant stuff going on here. Is that second group again. We've got to keep an eye on it. They are 3.9 seconds behind Joe McDonald. Keep an eye on that for the rest of the race. You can get that any shorter, but for now, Chepelevsky having to put up the defence from Cooper behind him. And here come the Momo cars as well, the likes of Jamie Ayres and Jack McIntyre too. So this is going to be pretty chaotic going into the carousel. Meanwhile, nearly 4 wide for the lead going into the carousel here at the front. Stevens to the outside. McNally is on the inside in his Youth Energy car, trying everything he can to try and keep the two-time BSRT champion at bay. And watch out for Garcia too. This is fantastic squabbling for the lead, something that we were expecting when we came into this race meeting here at Watkins Glen, and something that we'll probably see in the BSRTC and the Kia on Thursday night as well. Stevens maintains the lead, but is McNally going to go up the inside into the final corner? He decides better of it. Joe McDonald in the McDonald's livery car, throwing it up the inside of Garcia, but just not able to get the crucial overlap to get that third position. But he's now decided to throw his hat back into the ring in this battle for this argument over first place, as we're on to lap 8 now, 4 to go.
Yeah, it's great to see that if you do lose out maybe in 1 or 2 corners around here, you can quickly get back into a battle because of the slipstream, and they're obviously using that to their advantage here, as Kip Stevens has got a really good run out of that first corner actually. Obviously McNally's going to pull it back now, but Garcia is going to be the one to watch. He's got a little bit of a gap ahead to McNally, and it's quite an even space actually. Stevens seems to be sort of getting out of the way almost there, and he's sort of let McNally go through beforehand, and I think he might be doing some sort of strategy there, but you can see the guys behind are catching up now, and I think McDonald might be providing some slipstream to Jason Cooper there, so could be interesting to see if this bunches up. 3 laps to go after this one, of course, but not sure whether that's enough time. McNally inherits the lead then from Stevens, who's still choosing a bit of an outside line here. Oh, Garcia just a flash to the brakes there to avoid him washing wide into him. McIntyre goes to the head of this group with Cooper and Ayres. Chepelevsky is on the same team as the other 2 red cars that you can see there racing for Momo, but he's using his own livery to represent his rallycross team, I believe. And then he's got Nathan Davis behind him, Max Wright and David Ayres as well. Max Wright doing really well in the first race, and he's still within the top 10 in this one, so I'm sure he'll be happy with the results as they're going. But Cooper now ahead of McIntyre in this one. I think these guys are working quite well together at the moment, though. They are battling, but they're not doing it to an extent where they're slowing each other down too much, and they're gradually catching the guys in front.
Yeah, they are. It's down to 2.5 seconds now. They probably won't get there before the end. There, I said it. They probably will now. But I think there just isn't enough time for them to get there. Joe McDonald, though, he is just within about 2 or 3 seconds off them, isn't he? So if you can get it down to 1.3 by the end of this lap, then I think it could be on in terms of the penultimate and final lap. But for now, it's the front 3 of Cooper, Stevens, McNally and Garcia. Here they are. McNally on the inside, Stevens on the outside, with Garcia trying to push Kip Stevens forward. That's very dangerous there. I thought Stevens was going to go flying into the side of McNally there, but he doesn't. On the brakes, McNally returns to the lead. For now, anyway, Garcia might be about to gate crash Kip Cooper Stevens' party. Stevens, though, has a great run on the exit of the carousel and is now back into second. And if he can carry the speed going into the penultimate corner, he could get the lead back. Meanwhile, you can see from that second group, Chaz, that McIntyre is about 2 seconds behind. It's not too far away, but Cooper, Stevens and McNally, they're still going at it, and if they keep doing this is just going to allow them to close it even more. It's down to 1.8 seconds now as we come around to start the penultimate lap.
Yeah, it's just getting more and more feisty with these guys, and it is slowly bunching up. It's a bit of a natural thing on this circuit for it to bunch up, but with these guys at the front, they're not helping each other as much as the guys behind. McIntyre's made a bit of a break away from it, but it's still McNally at the front as McDonald goes on quite a scenic route there. So some of the other guys are following. That's Chepelevsky round. He doesn't get caught by Cooper, which I thought he might have done for a second there, but he's going to rejoin. Hopefully he doesn't get caught by anyone else, because it is easy to run wide there. But we'll have another look at it now then. He's side by side with Ayres into turn 1. Does he clip that curb? Oh, the car just goes around, doesn't it? And obviously, as it goes off camber a bit further out, that just unsettled it even further, didn't it?
Well, that's a shame for Stalin Chepelevsky, because he was spearheading that attack. It's now up to Jack McIntyre to try and do that. He is about half a second away from Joe McDonald. You can just see the red car now, starting to get ever more prominent. I think he might get that 4th place off McDonald by the end of the race if he's careful about it. It's all going to be about the slipstream, about whether he can get to this front 3 as well, and whether they start fighting too. When we get to the line, we're going to be starting the final lap of the race here in the second race of 4 in the BSR MX5 Cup here at Watkins Glen International. 2 more races to come after this. We'll be reaching the halfway point of the evening. Jack McIntyre is going to be trying to get past Joe McDonald as we come out of the final corner to start the final lap, because I think there might just be a little crumb of hope for McIntyre about winning this one potentially, but he's going to have to time the slipstreaming to perfection. Going to have to pick off one of them straight away into the first corner, Chaz. That's McIntyre through into 4th place. McDonald's not giving up, but there you go. Through goes McIntyre. Now he's going to have to hope for the lap of his life and hope that 3 cars in front start squabbling massively.
Yeah, he's got the golden opportunity here, and hopefully, if Garcia tries to launch an attack on Cooper Stevens and McNally, then this all could fall into place for him. Obviously, it's not a very long lap here, so as we go down the straight, he's just going to be patient. Obviously, he'll have that throttle pedal. Well, you can hear he's getting contact from behind, actually, from McDonald. He's obviously pushing down the straight. You'd have to think they'd be a bit careful about incident points there, as you see Cooper Stevens down the inside, then a McNally. Still side by side. Oh, there's a bit of a touch and a bit more of a touch. Don't want it to be the second race in a row where McNally's turned on the carousel on the last lap. Garcia glued to the back of him, but look at the run McIntyre's got. Really gluing onto the back of these guys now, but I think it's going to be one of those top 3 that takes this rather than McIntyre. I don't quite think he's close enough, although you say that. Look at him go. McNally's gone wide, and he's spun it, and McIntyre into him. Can't save it, surely. No. Just misses him. Real shame there, and it's going to be Cooper Stevens that's going to take race 2 win ahead of Mikel Garcia. Brilliant drive by those two. Fantastic racing up front. Jamie Ayres takes 3rd place. Nathan Davis, Jason Cooper, Joe McDonald, but real shame for McIntyre there. McDonald obviously very happy with that result, as you can see, but that's McNally there. Very sportsmanship display there by McNally. Obviously on hand to help McIntyre across the line. He knew it was his mistake that caused that. Look at the state of that MX5. It's become a Renault Scorpion, hasn't it? Always he mounts the wall slightly, and yeah, it's the best thing to stop that where it is, isn't it?
Wow, what drama in those final 2 corners. McNally yet again spinning off inside of the flag. He ends up finishing in 20th place, and Jack McIntyre, the one that got collected in it all, finishing in 19th place. It's not at all what they would have wanted, and they'll be hoping for a small reverse grid for race 3, because they'll be starting towards the rear of the field. Otherwise, there are still cars that are coming around to complete the race. It is Carl Jacobet that I think is coming across the line in the Immortal car. Then it's Simone Nicastro in 24th, and then I think we're still waiting on Peter Van Gaal in 25th, I think, to finish. And then after that, we will be able to get the results up. And of course, hand over to Alex for the reverse grid. There goes Van Gaal over the line. Finishes in 25th place. So then, it's really through the finishing order then. Cooper Stevens wins by just over 1/10 of a second for Mikel Garcia. Jamie Ayres finishing in 3rd. Nathan Davis in 4th. Jason Cooper 5th. The American Joe McDonald in 6th. Literally other side of America to California here in Watkins Glen. Watkins Glen, New York. Joe McDonald racing from California. Then a Max Wright in 7th, 8th for David Ayres. Then the 2 Memo cars of Hefford and McCarran. Carl Hardy in 11th, 12th for Craig Jones, his teammate. And Scott Malcolm in 13th place. Dan Hunt in 14th in the end. Stelian Shepelevsky managed to finish in 15th after his spin in the first corner, when it looked like he could have had a good chance of maybe gate crashing that front group at the end. Mick Barry 16th, Rob Graham in 17th. Then 18th place for Jordan Giddings. And then moving on further back, 19th for Jack McIntyre, the championship leader, not having the best evening, really. And then Adam McNally in 20th. Ben Mears in 21st, 22nd for Peter Knowles. Carl Jacquelet in 23rd. Some of these drivers started pit back, so they were already on the back foot. And then Simone Nicastro in 24th, and Peter Van Gaal, the last car on the lead lap, and in fact, the last classified finisher too. So if we do get a full -1, it will be Nicastro on the pole for race 3. Then the cars that didn't finish the race. 3 laps down, Mikey Key, Tyler Lugo Vickery started from the pit lane and crashed during the race. So he finished 6 laps down in 27th. Luke Cooper having issues. So too Jack Ashton. Josh Thompson was involved in the mess in the S's early on. And Craig Evans was also out on the opening lap of the race. So that's what happened in race 2. Alex Simpson, it's time to get the reverse grid wheel and get the grid set for the 3rd race of the day.
Indeed it is. Straight into it. Let's give it a spin, see what it's going to be. Decent spin. It looks like full -1 is coming into play. But we're missing these smaller numbers the last few weeks, and it is indeed full -1.
Should be Simone Nicastro on the pole then, it looks like. Chaz, what's the rest of the top 5 looking like?
Well, joining him on the front row will be Carl Jacquelet. His teammate Peter Knowles will be 3rd on the grid. Benjamin Mears will be up there again, and Adam McNally, once again after a spin, will be up there as well. Jack McIntyre is actually going to be 6th on the grid as well, so there's going to be more sort of beneficiaries, including the guys that spin towards the end of the race in the third one. So should be exciting to see whether they can make the most of it.
Yeah, really looking forward to the third race. First two have been crackers. Make sure you don't miss it because it'll be coming up after the break here on Apex Racing TV on the iRacing Esports Network. Race 3 of 4 in the BSR MX5 Cup here at Watkins Glen.
chair of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMary at the line.
Welcome back to Watkins Glen, and the lights are about to come on for the third out of four races. Unfortunately, we can't bring you the action because I think we are just still loading into the session of HTTP error, I believe, with our streamer Alex Simpson. But Chaz, we're underway, and on the pole position for this one, it's Simone Nicastro. It looks like he's going to have the lead going into the first corner.
Yeah, he's got a nice run away from everyone else. Actually, he's kept it on the straight and narrow, and it looks like so far. I'm just watching the back of the field as they filter through, and everyone's actually got through all right so far. So it's a bit of a change from the first few races. Just going on board with someone now, just so I can get a bit of a view forward on it. And it looks like at the moment then Nicastro is still leading the way. McNally's gained 3 places, and McIntyre's gained 3 places for Momo as well. Carl Jacquelette's gone down 4 places, and as they all slipstream each other down the straight then, it's looking like it's going to be Adam McNally who is leading the charge towards it. McIntyre's having a quick look to see what he can do, but he's not quite got there yet. Steve Hefford's going 3 wide in the middle of the pack as well. 2 wide with Dan Hunt and one of the Automat cars going around the carousel. Everyone filtering their way through. Looks like everyone's got around there cleanly as well. Doesn't seem like we've lost anyone at the moment. Actually, I say that Peter Knowles is right near the back as well. Let me just try and find out what happened to him. Not quite sure whether he's had...
Peter Knowles.
Seems
I
like
think
he's got no damage.
he started from the pit lane, it looks like. At least that says on the timing screen anyway. Up the inside goes Adam McNally for the lead. I believe we do have pictures back and the timing back as well. Cheers, Alex, for sorting that out. But over the line we go to complete the opening lap then. Lap 1 of 11 in the books. And it's McNally that leads yet again. He led the first race, but then spun. He led the second race, spun a corner later as well. And now in the third race of the day he leads. Will it be third time lucky this time around? It's McIntyre in second. He was the one that crashed into him in race 2. And then it's Nicastro third, Chepelevsky fourth, Giddings fifth, Graham sixth, Mia seventh, eighth Dan Hunt, ninth is Carl Jacquelet, and ninth is Mick Barry, and 10th is Carl Jacquelet.
Looks like it's going to be anyone's game at this point, really. There's going to be so much slip treatment going on, as we've seen already tonight. And these guys are not spacing out at all at the moment. There's been no incidents to break the field up. Look at it. It's just one big train of cars. Everyone trying to find the best position to get the slipstreaming down the straight. Chepelevsky up to second place now. McNally down to fourth. Chepelevsky's now on the outside, though. And in the blink of an eye, he's gone from pushing his teammate Jack McIntyre into the lead to being down in fourth again. As on the back of these, like there's Jordan Giddings, who's hoping for a better race 3. Side by side, then into the penultimate corner. They're pushing Nicastro in that very bright green. It's actually classes as 1050 Barbanera Racing, obviously affiliated with our very own Marco Barbanera, fellow commentator on Apex. And McNally is just tucking in at the moment and seeing what these guys are doing, but McIntyre's trying to check out here.
Indeed he is. The gap is about half a second as they come out of the final corner to complete the lap. Looks like the McIntyre might be about to leave everybody behind him if he can get some laps in. You can see by the times coming up on the left-hand side as they come across the line. Dan Hunt, the only other driver really to lap in the 122s.
Oh, he's around though.
And he's spun. Yeah. Oh dear, because of the commentator strikes here. Dan Hunt gets going again. There's a problem for somebody else as well. That was Carl Jacquelet, I believe. He's towed back to the pits as well. So, disaster. Mikey Key also involved.
I was a bit worried then as well because there was a lot of them bunching together to try and avoid the stationary Jacquelet. And I was thinking it was going to end up in quite a nasty incident going up to the S's. But luckily, we got away with it. And McIntyre's still in the lead then. Chepelevsky, Nicastro and McNally still having this great scrap for second while Giddings sort of as the front row seat. Nicastro just across the nose of McNally there. That was really close.
They touched. Sure it was very close, didn't they? Yeah, wasn't it?
He's got a bit of damage on the car as well, actually. I think he might have done. That was either very risky or he knew exactly where he wanted to put it. But 3 wide then into the penultimate corner. It's Chepelevsky. And he said, oh no, I think it's Dave Ayres in the Result Clothing car. They're all trying to avoid. And that's Scott Malcolm into them. Josh Thompson involved.
Davis too.
Break. I think it was Mikey Key, I think, in the Result Clothing car. Is with the green roll cage, and I think Carl Hardy's also been involved in the same accident. It's a real shame for those guys. Just looked like there was a bit of a quarter panel coming out of the carousel, and when you are trying to correct a slide or just sort of make sure you maintain your line, it is easy to just sort of either wash wide into someone, or when you try not to run wide, you can turn back onto the racing line a little bit. So must have just been a bit too bunched up back there. As we see the field filtering through turn 1 then. McIntyre still in the lead from Chepelevsky. Bit of a gap now for these guys at the front. You can visually see it on the right-hand side. It's nearly a second back to Nicastro from Chepelevsky. So he's not out of the draft range, not by any stretch of the imagination, but Giddings is going to keep him occupied. So you would think that Chepelevsky's going to try and cling on to the back of his teammate McIntyre here and try and make the breakaway.
Yeah, looking forward to this battle. This is something that we haven't really seen in the first 2 races just because of their own incidents that they've been involved in. As Giddings leans on Nicastro almost a bit too much. They managed to survive and carry on, but Giddings and Simone Nicastro both coming very close to contact, and Adam McNally was saying, please guys, don't crash into each other because I don't want to be involved in another crash at the front of the field again, as he goes to the outside in Nicastro now.
That was just, that was closer than closer there. Oh no, there's a little bit of neck code involved, it looks like. I don't know whether he got a touch or not. He did sort of close in on him. Cooper collects him. Real shame there for Nicastro. It was, I think he just risked. Oh no, he's coming across the front of him, and that is one of the other Youth Energy cars going with him. That's Tyler Lugo Vickery. Tyler wouldn't know what to do there. He just, suddenly there's a bright green MX5 in your face, and you don't know really what to do, but real shame that. I think it was tempting fate a bit much with how Nicastro was racing so closely to each other, and Obviously, a quick turn into the corner and just that tiny little gap, and yeah, contact spun him around, unfortunately. Sounded like there was contact behind then as well, actually. I just heard a big bang. Not sure who might have clipped the wall going through the S's or something, but there's a big gap in the field there. Not sure whether something's happened there, but it's sort of slowed them down a little bit.
No one's dropping down the order at a great rate of knots, so hopefully everybody's been able to continue. As Chepelevsky and McIntyre now swap for the lead, telling Chepelevsky hits the front. Anybody else doing 22s last time around? Jordan Giddings in third, definitely did. Craig Evans putting a new fastest lap of the race, a 22.22. In 8th place, he's just in the back of that shot there. He's trying to find his way past everybody. Steve Hefford is also one of the quick guys. He's up in 4th as Alex just looks at him briefly. And then there's this insane scrap for every other position. And it's 3 wide almost going into the penultimate corner. That's Mick Barry, that's Craig Evans, and it's Rob Graham as well.
Craig.
That might have been a bit of net code. Yeah.
Graham into Garcia. Real shame there. That I think Graham just tried to get out of his way a bit and didn't realise there was that much of an overlap. And unfortunately, that's his car in the wall there. But yeah, really good scrap by these guys. It was all nice and bunched up, and now it's been spread out a little bit. But Evans really, really scared himself there, and I think everyone around him by just trusting that curb too much. As you see, that's. I think it was Mick Barry, was it there? Just been up on the avoiding the off track at turn 1, and you're going that wide, you've just got to keep your foot in and get on with it, haven't you, I suppose?
Yeah, lap 6 of 11. We're already past the halfway point in this third race of the day. Don't know where the time's gone for that one. McIntyre hits the lead though yet again. The group behind are 3 wide. You can see there Hefford, Giddings, and McNally 2 going into the hairpin and the carousel. Hefford 13 places gained, McNally just the 1, but he's still hanging in there. And Jordan Giddings gaining 2. Jack Ashton has just dropped back about 1 or 2 places. I think he's in that mad squabble. That probably explains it. In the background, it's starting to separate out a little bit there after the crash on the previous lap. There's still people fighting away. Craig Evans, 25 positions gained. Then it's Ashton, then Barry, and then Van Gool, the 4 cars fighting over 6th place.
Yeah, the result clothing car's easy to distinguish between their brightly coloured roll cages and wheels as Evans gets all kinds of curb out of there. Brilliant save. Oh no, and it's Key that doesn't save it. Sorry, it was Mick Barry. Sorry, not Mikey Key. I was just saying how easy it is to distinguish him, and then I get it wrong. As he's well, at least he's not far from the pits. He decides against it, but that's not going to be behaving itself as it comes across the line. Real shame there for Mick Barry. It was just, I think he might have just done that on his own because he wasn't that close to anybody at the time, was he?
No, it wasn't. I remember a NASCAR Cup Series race 10 years ago now where Sam Hornish ended up hitting those trash cans on the outside of the pit lane in a big crash there on the road course. But here is the battle for the lead again. 73 thousandths, that is the gap if you stick 2 Mazdas together, because McIntyre and Chepelevsky are like 2 magnets here, both attracting each other, and then they pull apart going into the carousel. They repel. That's what happens when stick 2 opposite ends of a magnet together through the carousel. A bit of science there. As we have about 5 laps to go here in the BSR MX5. We've got one more race to look forward to after this one. We don't want to go missing for that one. A reverse grid to look forward to, and McIntyre and Chepelevsky, well, we're hoping that things don't end things end well for those two, as Hefford and McNally try a new line through the penultimate corner there as they both went off the track.
Yeah, they trying the rallycross route through there, I think, just trying to see how much the suspension of these MX5s can take. But McIntyre will be hoping that the back of that car does repel Chepelevsky for the rest of the race. As it stands, he's got a little bit of a gap on him, but as we've seen tonight, well, speaking of gaps, there was about a half a mile gap between McNally and the apex there in the background as they ran wide. But you've got to use that or run off, I suppose. You've got to just try and maintain it. If you don't get an off track for it, as one of the Automet cars doing the same, you've got to use it. You may as well, if you can get away with it. Ashton then chasing McLeod Evans up the hill. He's got Van Gool waiting in the wings, though. He's going to get really good slipstream off these pair if they don't stay single file. He's actually pulled out of the slipstream already, hoping to get a good run, and now he's got the slipstream on Evans. It's worked out really well for him, but I don't know whether Ashton's got... there's no overlap, as you can tell. He's come straight across. Might even go 3 wide here, Mike Van Gool, but Evans is the one losing out, because he's going to be on the outside now as these guys go past him on the inside.
Very close going through the carousel. We all love a stat in the BSR series, and I was just looking at the timing screen. There's not going to be many cars in the top 10 that started there. That's a favourite stat of the BSR TC, but for now, Craig Evans and Jack Ashton They're very well nestled inside the top 10. They're fighting over 6th and 7th. And 8th place as well with Van Gaal there too. And you can see from the positions gained graphic on the left-hand side who the big movers are. Definitely Craig Evans, and so too Jack Ashton, both gaining 23 and 24 places respectively. As we go on to lap 9 of 11 now, 3 to go. Adam McNally puts in a new personal best, so too does Jordan Giddings. A bit of a way off the lead as things stand, but if they keep plugging away like that, then if the leaders at the front make some sort of mistake, they could find themselves right back in contention. Battle for 6th place really is hotting up, and Dan Hunt, Chaz, someone nearly spins out in the background. That was a ultimate not kill car. That was Mias, wasn't it? Very nearly going into the wall. Dan Hunt, just to show that he hasn't lost any of the pace since the moment earlier on, he puts in a new fastest lap of the race, a 22.01.
Yeah, he's always had good paces, Dan Hunt, and he's just showing that he's not letting it slip, even if he has gone down the order a little bit. And these guys are really close together. Van Gaal now right on the back of Ashton. Sorry, that's McLeod Evans. It's Ashton on the outside, isn't it? As Evans then controls it, keeps it nice and close to the inside on the carousel. And obviously the natural sort of overlap that you get there is allowing it's allowing Cooper to get in on this. Van Gaal has a little bit of a blink around there. Still side by side as he comes to the penultimate corner. He doesn't want Ashton to go to the outside. He wants to make him use all that inside line. Doesn't quite work though as the overlap sort of dissipates slightly. Oh, a bit of curb there for Van Gaal. You've got to really be careful. As McIntyre then comes on to lap 10 in the lead, with Chepelewski still behind him, and then their teammate Steve Hefford might make it a 1-2-3 for Momo. We'll have to see whether they can keep that up with McNally and Giddings waiting for it. Oh, McIntyre really trying to avoid the off-track there. Hefford doing the same. Spectacular stuff through turn 1. It's always great to see. And hopefully Hefford can keep that gap from McNally and Giddings, as I was just about to say. So these guys can get a 1-2-3 for Momo, which we've seen quite a few times over the course of the year. This team has been very, very dominant. But the arrival of the Swift Cooper Esports team and the rise of youth energy as well has really taken the fight to them this season, hasn't it, Adam?
Really has. But it looks like as things stand, they're not going to be getting in their way at the moment. The Momo cars at the moment in the front 3 positions as the battle for 4th rages on between Adam McNally and Jordan Giddings. Youth Energy versus Northern Ice Racing GT Omega. And McIntyre now on the back foot. He's going to have one more lap to get it. It seems that the even laps, it's Chepelewski leading. The odd laps, it's McIntyre leading. But I'm sure Chepelewski will hope to end that trend on this final lap of the race now as we come through the final corner. Going to get the white flag for the 3rd race of the day here. Just one more race to go after this one. And of course the reverse grid to look forward to as well, as Alex will get the reverse grid wheel up in a moment. But last lap then. Chepelewski versus McIntyre. Maybe we could see Hefford and McNally throw a late charge into the mix if these two start fighting. They all use that runoff area on the exit. The 5th car in line there, Jordan Giddings, making sure he gets back onto the circuit before he hits the grass, because he will pick up an off track if he does hit it. And now it's all going to be about the best line, Chaz, whether he can try and get Chepelewski set up, and he's going to go to the outside straight away. See if this works.
Yeah, they'll be communicating with each other quite thoroughly over this last lap, of course, being from the same stable, but I'm pretty sure that Hefford's trying to get McNally to go with him and break the slipstream to the guys in front here, because he wants to make sure his 2 teammates out front get the win. But it's McIntyre commanding it at the moment. Then he's gained a little bit of a gap on Chepelewski there, but naturally, as you take different lines, you'll see McIntyre runs a bit wider and Chepelewski's on the inside, so he might get a better run. But Hefford has really closed onto the back of them now. That's a massive difference in just one corner. It'll be interesting to see whether he can make a move into the last corner here, because he could line him up into the penultimate one.
What a run on the exit of the carousel by Jack McIntyre. I think that's going to be good enough to get him the win here going for the final corner. It's going to be a 1-2-3. Apex Racing TV got a 1-2-3 here in the BSR TC a few years ago. It's going to be Momo Racing that are going to get it done here in the BSR MX5. 1st, 2nd and 3rd. Jack McIntyre wins. Stallion Chepelewski 2nd and Steve Hefford completes a fantastic podium for them in 3rd. Here comes the rest of the field though. It's going to be Craig Evans. 25 positions gained to get 6th. And then Jack Ashton, Van Gaal, Cooper, Max Wright and Joe McDonald all separated by a few tenths of a second as everybody else streams across the line, Chaz.
Yeah, brilliant race there, and a few less incidents than we saw in the other 2, but yeah, shame for some of the guys just to lose it naturally. It's a very easy track when you're on the limit in this car to just over-rotate it slightly, and when you're at speed and it does choose to go round, when you're on corners like this with such differing camber, and it sort of varies throughout the corners as well, like turn 1 that we're looking at there. You've got no camber coming in, and then as soon as you turn in, it banks so hard, and then it flattens out. So if you run wide, a car like this that's so sort of soft suspension-wise and a bit wallowy, it'll just go. There's no saving it, no matter who you are. We saw that with Stelian Chepelevsky, obviously one of the greatest drivers on the service, and yeah, he just had no chance of saving it, unfortunately. But we'll hopefully see more of it in the last one, because yeah, it's been really exciting so far tonight.
Indeed it is, and if you've been liking any of the action tonight here on the iRacing Esports Network, make sure to check out Apex Racing TV, in particular the BSR TC, which will be heading to this very circuit on Thursday. 40 plus Kia Optimas, much quicker than these cars, racing around this very layout. It's going to be one not to miss, and that'll be on Thursday at 8:15 Greenwich Mean Time. Of course, the hours have gone back now. It officially is winter now. Pretty cold in the UK, I must admit. But the action here has been hot, hot, hot. Here, the finishing order then. Here is the finishing order from the third race of the day. Jack McIntyre, Stelian Chepelevsky and Steve Hefford complete a 1-2-3 wipe out of the podium for Momo Racing. Then Anne McNally finishes in 4th, with Jordan Giddings in 5th, Craig Evans in 6th, Jack Ashton in 7th, then Peter Van Gool 8th, Jason Cooper 9th, and then Max Wright in 10th. Ben Mears finishes in 11th place, Craig Jones in 12th, 2 highest AM drivers there. Nick McCarron 13th, Dan Hunt 14th place, 15th for Joe McDonald, and then Luke Cooper finishing in 16th, with Mikael Garcia, who had a spin earlier on, but still managed to gain 6 places en route to 17th place, and then Mikey Key in 18th. Josh Thompson, slightly quiet third race, but I don't know whether that's part of the plan for race 4. He finishes in 19th. Peter Knowles in 20th. Nathan Davis in 21st. 22nd for Rob Graham. Then the last car 1 lap down, one and only car 1 lap down, Scott Malcolm. So if we do have a 4-1, it will be Rob Graham on the pole. Then all the cars that had issues during the race. Tyler Lugo Vickery, 2 laps down, 5 laps down for Mick Barry. Simone Nicastro not having the best of evenings, the Italian. Finished 7 laps down. Jamie Ayres, the Welshman, 7 laps down there. And then Carl Hardy, David Ayres, completing 3 result clothing cars who did not score any points during the race. And then Carl Jacquelet and Cooper Stevens, all right at the back of the field, completing the 31 car field that we've got at Watkins Glen International today. And I wonder who's going to be on the pole position for the final race. Alex, for the final time tonight, we've got the reverse grid wheel. Who's going to be on the pole?
Indeed, let's go straight into it. Another large one by the looks of it. Oh, maybe not. Oh no, yeah, it stays on 50. So basically a full.
Well, that's great for Scott Malcolm, Chaz, because the 4-1, we've managed to avoid that, and it means that he's going to be on the pole for the final race. What's the rest of the top 5 looking like?
Well, he's got his teammate Rob Graham on alongside him on the front row in the number 22 car. Nathan Davis lines up 3rd with Peter Knowles in 4th, and Josh Thompson, who you've got to think is going to be a shout for the win in this 5th one. Hopefully his luck will turn around a little bit tonight. He obviously won the first race, but he's not had the greatest of times in the 2nd and 3rd one. So hopefully in the 4th race tonight he can grab another win.
Yeah, that is the name that immediately jumps out when you look at it. He's going to have to get past a few AM drivers as well, and a few AM drivers that are well known for putting up strong defences. So may have to be a little bit careful. We'll be looking forward to it, and hopefully you will be as well at home, because it's coming up after the break, the final race of the day in the BSR MX5 Cup here at Watkins Glen on the iRacing Esports Network.
Once again, photo finish here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMary at the line. here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMary at the line.
We're back on the iRacing Esports Network, getting set for the final race of the day. The warm-up session is just about finishing, so we'll be down to the grid in a moment. I'm back here with Chaz Draycott and Alex Simpson again for the fourth of 4 races. And if you've seen so far tonight on the iRacing Esports Network, don't forget here on Apex Racing TV, we've got the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship, the Showdown, the second week of it, starting this week. Second of 5 races to determine the champion. But tonight, it's the BSR MX5, and as the grid starts to form, Chaz, it's been a great evening so far, but I think we've got all the right ingredients looking at this top 10 for another great race to end the night.
We certainly have, and if you've noticed as well, the trees are swaying around quite a lot here. It's actually very windy in this last race for them as well, a little bit overcast, so good to see whether that makes a difference or not. It seems to be going across the straight though rather than towards it, so speeds won't be dropped that much. Quickly looking at the grid then, it's an auto knock hill front row with Scott Malcolm and Rob Graham as the lights are coming on and they're away. Big clouds of smoke from everyone, slight bit of wheel spin off the line. And it's Josh Thompson who's the first guy to make up a place according to the timing screen. Adam McNally's done the same as well a bit further down. Side by side for the two teammates through turn 1 then. Rob Graham and Scott Malcolm. Oh, I can hear contact. Oh, there's one of the Swift Cooper cars going flying wide. Dan Hunt involved also, slow on the exit. Not quite sure who it was that went with him. I think it was not Jason Cooper, it's Luke Cooper with the red roll cages in the Swift Cooper Esports car. And Peter Knowles was the Simortal car that went with him. There we go. Real shame there for those boys. Ending the race quite soon on for them. Seems like they've carried on going actually. I don't think they were that damaged by it, but if we look at the front then, you've got Josh Thompson and Rob Graham and Nathan Davis and Scott Malcolm still battling for the lead. The two Ultimate cars are now 3rd and 4th. Losing out to Nathan Davis and Josh Thompson on the inside then.
Well, I've got the feeling that when it's Thompson v Davis, things aren't going to end too well. We'll wait and see. Still got 10.5 laps still to play out, but Thompson and Davis have had a bit of a history in other series that we have covered on Apex Racing TV. And they're going at it right from the get-go here. Davis up the inside to the penultimate corner. He just about makes it. Thompson has to get on the brake. And that allows Rob Graham back into the action too, going into the final corner.
Yeah, really close stuff there between Graham and Thompson. Graham's always been a fan of close racing, and he's not shy from a bit of contact as well. As it seems like someone was a little bit out of shape in the background there. Not quite sure who that was, but there's just a sea of MX5s coming down the straight. Nice to see everyone so bunched up together. Really, really all over the place with Thompson and Graham here. They're just trying to sort of psych each other out a bit. As there's people, well, I think the award for widest run out there was Peter Van Gool and the Momo car. Nearly 3 wide up the S's. Don't do that, boys. That's not going to work. There's Garcia's back near the front as well. He's going to tuck in here and see whether he can get a bit of success out of this. Oh, they're clipping the wall nearly as they go up the S's. This is just amazing. McLeod Evans is coming in on this as well, and Scott Malcolm. And then behind them, you've got Craig Jones and his teammate Mikey Keeg. This is going to get really, really, really close down towards the carousel.
Davis is almost in that sucker hole in the middle where everybody just goes by. He's managed to somehow salvage it, and he's going to go for the lead through the middle going into the carousel. Oh, he's almost certainly going to hit the Northern Lights GT car. Somehow he doesn't. Where's Craig Evans come from? He's gained 14 places already, and there's another. His teammates crashed in the back. That was
Giddings,
that was Giddings. Yes, you're right. Yeah, Giddings is done. Might be getting going again. Through the middle goes his teammate though. Thompson holds on to the lead. It's Craig Evans though that wants to gain that 16th spot and get himself into the lead going into the final corner.
Yeah, there was a bit of 3 wide there involving some of the Momo cars as well in the middle. I think Jack Ashton's in there with Dan Hunt, Jamie Ayres, McNally's also there too with Ben Mears. It was getting really close together. There was no space between the 3 of them. I think they were just linked by wing mirrors as Craig Evans does the fastest lap of the race. Just have to see whether anyone else beats that, but he takes the lead into turn 1, then down the inside of Thompson. Sounds like someone's around. Oh, it's Garcia. Max Wright's around as well. He's been collected by somebody. Yeah, someone's gone way over there. I think it might have been Carl Hardy's been involved. He clipped Cooper as he comes back on. There's another Simortal car. Cooper Stevens is in the wall on the outside as well. Simon Nicastro it is that's off. Real shame for those guys there. But side by side for the lead then, it's Evans and Thompson down towards the carousel.
Who's this going to be then? 3 wide. Davis now with a late surge up the side. Wow, what a dive that was. Is he going to be able to hold on to it? Thompson, I don't think, has the response on that outside. He's going to move up straight in front of Thompson to assert his authority there. And Nathan Davis, for now, has the lead down the short chute. Thompson's going to try and get up the inside, I reckon, going into the penultimate corner. But Davis is wise to that move. And now it's going to be Evans going around the outside of the penultimate corner. There's somehow room. And Craig Evans, fantastically, takes the lead going into the final corner.
Beautiful stuff by Craig there. I was just about to say he's been doing a bit of dirt rally on his YouTube channel recently, so I'm sure he wasn't too scared of going on the grass there, but after his race 2 incident, you've got to think so. But down the inside again, Davis, showing that he's good at doing that in this race. He's done it a couple of times already, and he's got about 7 laps more after this one to get it done again. Thompson's still looking feisty, though he always is, let's face it. Going to try and chase him up the S's. It looks like Evans might just get the overlap when they go left now. Davis is obviously going to be on the wider line. Thompson flashing the brakes there to just say to people behind, look, this isn't going as quickly as you are, so just hang back a bit. Van Gool's going to get great slipstream off him as well down the straight, so you've got to think that he might even be in contention. Look at the speed difference, that's just remarkable.
Yeah, it is.
That was proper overspeed, isn't it? I think he might have a lead here in a straight line before they even get there. He's up to 3rd, now 2nd. Go on, go for the lead, son.
He's going to go get freight trains here, everybody, going into the carousel.
Oh no, Evans! He's been clipped by Thompson, but somehow, I don't know how he didn't get caught up there, but that was Craig Jones in 4th place that just missed him. And again, really fortunate with an incident at the carousel that didn't collect more people.
Such a shame for Craig Evans because he gained 15 places. We just documented that, and now he's down to he's down to 19th places. Nathan Davis now leads. Peter Van Gool is somehow in 2nd. He was that car that went right to the outside going through the carousel, and it somehow works out for him. Then it's Thompson in 3rd, Craig Jones 4th, and Jason Cooper in 5th as crossed the line to start the 5th lap. Quickly approaching the halfway mark in this race. Stalin Shepelevsky, fastest lap of the race, 21.7. Don't think we've seen too many lap times quicker than that today. I think these windy conditions and the ambient temperature as well is playing into the hands of these Mazda MX-5s, and they're as quick as they've been all night as we go up through the...
Yeah, really, really feisty stuff. Speaking of that, Josh Thompson round the outside, then Davies just goes through the middle, doesn't he? Just sinks down the middle of those two. Just got no chance there with the slipstream. As you've got Craig Jones trying to get in on this as well. He's the highest AM driver in the race at the moment. Rob Graham is 2nd in that battle, down in 7th overall. There's a 3 wide then, like a little sort of triangle formation going backwards into the carousel. Thompson around the outside of Davis. These two still fighting for this lead. And you've got to maybe think based on what you said before, Adam, whether it is a case of when, not if, they make contact. I know they'll be doing a bit of bumping now. Thompson's going to be pushing him down this short chute. But Cooper's getting involved in this as well now. He's come out of nowhere and he's into 3rd place. But Van Gool down the inside then takes the podium spot away from him. Just so many position changes going on per lap. It's amazing stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, you can see which corners slow everybody up as well. As I hear smoke, someone spun, it's Van Gool. I'm sure that they knew I was just about to speak about Van Gool and say how well he was doing. And as soon as that happens, he's spun through the final corner and now he's down to 18th place. It's now Academic who's fighting for the lead. It's Davis versus Thompson. And now here comes around the outside. That's the Momo car, Stelian Shepelevsky. He's up to 4th now. 17 positions gained. And I think he might have a word to say about who wins this race. With just under half of it to go, got just one car in front. That's Jason Cooper, and then it's Nathan Davis and Josh Thompson. So this is looking pretty good.
Yeah, a lot of good names up there in the front of this pack, and even though it is the 4th race of the evening, it's good to show that the sort of reverse grids don't sort of dissipate them too much throughout the field, and they do make their way back up. Just shows the talent level that some of these guys have got as well at the top of this series. It's just amazing as Davis edges over slightly to give Cooper the space. Nearly makes contact with Thompson, but Thompson's going to take the advantage down the inside. Cooper's going to follow him through. Great stuff. Really good car control there. You could see him dabbing the brakes a little bit, maybe to try and get the nose turned in more, and it certainly worked for him. I was just going to say a quick shout as well to Chepolewski. Actually, he is streaming tonight, as we've said before, as Davis is on the inside, going into the penultimate corner. Great stuff. Really nicely done. He just got it done at the right time. So close to Thompson. You can tell that these guys have raced closely together before, and you know that they're going to be fierce with each other. As you said, they've got a bit of a history. Oh, Thompson showing us how it's done sideways through there. Beautiful car control, and that's part of what is the beauty of driving this MX5. Really, you can get it sideways, but it takes a bit of a master to actually hold a slide in it. Because, as I was saying before, it's easy to lose the back end, and Thompson showing us how it's done. That's Chepolewski taking the scenic route. Gets a nice little incident point there as he clips the grass, and he's lost a place to Dan Hunt in the process.
Yeah, in real life, that barrier has been pushed a bit further back, and the grass has been replaced by tarmac. So you wouldn't be getting that now. But on the iRacing scan, it still punishes you. Thompson and Davis are right on the ragged edge. That was probably up there, one of the slides of the night, one of the drifts of the night. Thompson cuts across Davis straight away. The moment the spotter said clear, he did it, and Davis is trying to find his own bit of track to try and get up the inside. We saw him do it in the penultimate corner a lap ago, and now this has allowed Jason Cooper to get back into second place. He's saying it's not just about you, Thompson and Davis. I want to have a go at getting this win here, and he could fancy his chances going round the outside into the penultimate corner. We've still got 5 more laps of this as things stand, going into turn 6. Close there.
Oh, just really, they're on the edge, aren't they, going through there? I was just holding my breath watching that. But I was just going to say, Jason Cooper and Luke Cooper bringing that team into this championship of the last season or so. They've really made a name for themselves. They're both really quick drivers, and it's been great to see them succeeding, as if Evans in the background clipping the tyre wall at the last corner. Davies now down to 4th place, Dan Hunt up to 3rd, so Dan's making a bid for this race win as well as Thompson goes on the grass. The big names are filtering their way forward here, Alex.
Yeah, indeed they are. It's looking interesting, actually. I mean, it's so close. I mean, and look at the pack that's behind as well. I mean, if I just bring up the mini-map for a second as well, you can just see, we can't really tell what numbers they are, but that's 15th place. That's at that front little gaggle, you know, so 1st to 15th, so pretty impressive.
Really aggressive also, that move last... Sorry, I think my internet's going a little bit slowly at the moment, boys, if you want to just take over for a sec, sorry.
That's okay. Dan Hunt, all of a sudden, is now back in the lead again. Out of nowhere, Dan Hunt hits the front with just a few laps to go. No rhyming intended. Thompson coming back for 2nd, while Nathan Davis is hoping that Jason Cooper is the key to victory here. Thompson going to go to the outside of Dan Hunt. That is going to be tremendous if it works out. And it looks like it's going to. That's unless Dan Hunt tries to throw it around the final corner, which tries to, but Thompson slides right in front of him. Now it's going to be crisscross on the exit. Thompson moves across, but Dan Hunt's already alongside. And Dan Hunt's going to try and get the lead into the first corner. He'll be on the inside for the first corner. Not often the favourable line, just because of the way the corner goes. Dan Hunt hits the front again. Thompson, though, is going to cut to the inside on the exit. No, he doesn't. It's going to be Hunt that leads them up the hill. But we've got about 12 cars, I'd say. Alex, that's separated by about 2 seconds.
Actually, yeah, 14 I think it is now, looking at the timing, live timing, 14. 2.3 seconds now as they come out of turn 1 as well, so that's just going to close up as they go down this straight as well.
3 wide again. Thompson in the middle. 4 wide.
Oh my God.
Nathan Davis.
Oh no! How did he save that?
You just knew that was going to happen. And Nathan Davis drops down to 7th place as a bit of crash in the back. That's Adam McNally. 4 races.
He's not having the best of nights with that carousel. I think every time he goes into there going forward, he's going to have flashbacks. But as Dan Hunt goes down the inside of Thompson, then you have to think as well, Nathan Davis probably had Ayrton Senna's old famous quote going through his head there: if you don't go for a gap, you're no longer a racing driver, and if you no longer put it on the grass when you're in a green car, you're no longer a racing driver. But Jamie Ayres weaving around all over the back of Thompson there. Obviously, I'm subconsciously willing him on, as he's one of my new teammates at Thrust Vector, so hoping Jamie gets a result. But obviously he's representing Momo in this one with his teammate Shepelevsky now third. So as you said before, Adam, well, on that route he's not going to achieve much on as he goes on the grass. But yeah, you've got to think that he's going to try and put a bid in for this win. And seeing he is in the lead at the end of this one, as I've said millions of times before, you don't want to be in the lead going on to the last lap on a slipstreaming circuit like this. You want to be the guy that can take the advantage of it, being 1 or even 2 places behind, don't you?
Definitely. And it's 3 wide, third place. You can see why Nathan Davis's car's green. He's probably done that move loads before and just hasn't washed the car since. He's been using so much of the grass here today. Here comes Dan Hunt versus Jamie Ayres into the carousel. Cooper has the opportunity to go up the inside there because there's a massive space. He's going to fill it up. And watch out for Stanislav Chapelevsky as well. He had the opportunity to get the win in race 3, but had a spin late on, which really scuppered those chances. I think anybody inside the top 10 could realistically win this, as they're all there. It's like the Moto 3 at Phillip Island at the weekend. If you saw the helicopter shot from that, on the start of the final lap there, is remarkable. Thompson up the inside of Cooper. What a move that is. A dive bomb by Thompson. Dive bomb by Tomo for the final corner. Now here comes Craig Jones and Stalin Chapelevsky. Anybody's guess as we start the final lap of who's going to win this 4th and final race. It's been all building up to this. Nathan Davis puts in a new personal best. Thompson v Chapelevsky, 2 of the quickest drivers. Thompson using everything going through that first corner.
Yeah, he's definitely got the incident points left to use that then. He's just thought, right, let's make the most of this runoff area, boys. Let's go. This is going to be a fantastic final lap scrap, though, between Ayres and Hunt then at the front. You've got to think, once again, rhyming not intended, you've got to think Jason Cooper. Oh, no! Oh, that didn't need to happen. That really didn't. I don't know how they didn't all hit Jamie Ayres there, but that just didn't have to happen, boys. That's a real shame for it to be sorted like that. Well, and it seems, I think Dan Hunt's, well, I don't know whether Dan crashed himself, but he's pulled over. Not sure whether that's out of sort of respect for Jamie in terms of saying, I really didn't mean to do that, but it's Cooper and Thompson side by side around the carousel. Once again, you see Cooper using the brakes to control the car. They've made contact as well, it seemed. I thought they did. Anyway, sorry, that might have been the camera angle I've got here making it look funny, but Thompson's on the inside, but that means Cooper's going to be on the inside for the last corner. Have to see how this plays out, see whether he can hold it round there. Oh, Cooper's gone on the scenic route. Bit of grass tracking, he's not going to get that stopped, is he? And it's going to be down the inside, Chepelevsky. Oh, Thompson's clipped the wall, though. He's going to make it to the line. Yeah. Thompson takes 2 wins tonight, brilliant stuff. Third, actually, Jack Ashton as well.
What a breathless final lap. Yeah, Jack Ashton just getting into third place. Thompson spins it out at the end. What a great job by Josh Thompson there. He really capitalised after Dan Hunt and Jamie Ayres collided. I don't know if Dan Hunt may have been disqualified. Not too sure on that one.
I think he pulled the car over himself. He was leaning against the barrier halfway down the straight. So I'm not sure whether he did that out of sort of hanging his head, and I don't know whose fault it is. We'll see it now.
There's a replay.
Yeah, he just goes to go behind him, I think. And yeah, I think he just takes himself out of the scenario, doesn't he? He says, nah, I'm not finishing the race and taking a win after that. I think he just tries to get behind him just so he can get the slipstream and just push him down the straight, but there is that tiny bit of an overlap left. And to be fair, it's quite respectful to see Dan doing that and pulling over like that, because, I mean, most people, if you're a racer, you would obviously carry on and win the race, but that's just out of respect there, and it's a nice thing to see.
Hopefully that doesn't. Hopefully, because he did that, it won't mean that he incurs a penalty. Otherwise, it'll be double jeopardy for him. He was the last of the 23 cars to. He was the first of the cars that failed to finish in the end, as everybody has now come across the line. But Alex, no reverse grid wheel for you to do now. But we can still bring you in to summarise that final race. We said just as we did the grid that top 10 had the makings of a really exciting race, and it truly delivered.
Yeah, fantastic race. So close all the way through. Like we were commenting, 2 seconds pretty much covered the top sort of 14, 15 cars for the bulk of that race. So, yeah, phenomenal. And then we just, a bit of separation, unfortunately, on the final lap with that incident. It's just, there's been a lot of final lap incidents this week. And yeah, poor McNally with a couple of them. And that last one there, yeah, that was a real shame. And I think that was a mistake on Dan's part. And of course, he's owned up to that pretty much straight away by pulling the car off. But yeah, I think probably kicking himself that he did that. So like Chaz said, he was just trying to get the draft as quickly as possible so he could get the run. But yeah, just sometimes when you hear the clear from the spotter, there's still that fraction overlap, and I think that's kind of what's caused.
Indeed it is. Well, let's run you through the finishing order then. Josh Thompson from the Isle of Man takes victory. Stelin Chepelevsky from Bulgaria in second, and Jack Ashton from Great Britain in third. Jason Cooper finishing in fourth, Nathan Davis fifth, Rob Graham, the highest AM driver in the end, in sixth, Craig Jones seventh, eighth Jack McIntyre, ninth Steve Hefford, Ben Mears in 10th, the third of the AM drivers. Peter Van Gaal and Nick McCarron, two teammates, 11th and 12th. Not too bad for Pete in the end, because let's not forget, he did have Bin coming out of the final corner earlier on in the race, the Dutchman. Then Adam McNally in 13th, Scott Malcolm 14th, Craig Evans finishing in 15th place in the end. Mikael Garcia 16th, then Max Wright, Mick Barry finishing in 18th place. I believe he's an owner of a Mazda MX-5, so a Mazda MX-5 in the real world and one in the virtual world for him today. 19th place for Carl Jacquelet, 20th for Jordan Giddings, and then Luke Cooper 21st, and then the cars didn't finish the race really after David Ayres in 22nd. Dan Hunt 1 lap down, Jamie Ayres also a lap down, both of them coming to grief on the final lap of the race. And then the cars that had issues during the race. Mikey Key, Tyler Lugo Vickery, not too sure they actually finished the race today, poor Tyler. Then Simone Nicastro, same goes to him. Kip Stevens, after race 2, that his evening took a turn for the worst. And then Carl Hardy and Peter Knowles haven't had the best evening either. Result Clothing haven't had too many cars finishing the races here, so they'll be hoping for better things when the series heads to Interlagos in Brazil next week.
Crazy stuff then across all 4 races tonight. Great racing, quite a lot of incidents, and we saw a couple of guys, obviously Adam McNally being one of them, having some real misfortune over a couple of the races, it seems. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. I don't know about you guys, but that was fantastic stuff. Absolutely fantastic stuff.
Yeah, good night's racing. Thoroughly enjoyed. Yeah, looking forward to Thursday. Bit scared.
Yeah, these you'll be doing, I think, probably sub 1 minute laps potentially, or just over a minute in the
yeah,
we're
we're just over a minute. So I remember exactly what I was doing. Again, it all depends on the weather. You know what it's like. But yeah, I've done a couple of laps already, and just trying to very quickly give you an idea. Where are we? Yeah, about 1:11, something like that in Q-Trim, maybe a very early race pace. Again, it depends on the weather. If it's going to be like a super cold session, it'll probably be a bit quicker.
There we go. Look forward to that on Thursday, BSRTC. We do have a few drivers waiting to talk to us, though. Chaz, one person that's had an incident-filled evening, Adam McNally, is sat down there, so I think we'll grab him for a quick word in the commentary booth. It's been we were just saying, Adam, it's been an event-filled evening for you. I think that was probably only one race without a spin near the carousel. Tell us about the whole evening.
Oh, it was great fun. To be honest, I had loads of great battles, but just can't believe I chucked it away on the last lap. 2 races in a row, battling for first, just not on. It's a silly mistake. Car snapped on us, and that's it. It's gone. But like I said, positives are great battling all the way through the field all night.
And then race 4 at the end, you weren't battling for the lead there, but something did happen down at the hairpin on the final lap.
Yeah, trying to go 3 wide round is it the carousel, the right-hander? And Steve was in the middle, and he just ping-ponged between us and just turned us, didn't do no damage. Finished the race, but like I said, it was a good fun night. Had loads of great battles with everyone. Everyone seemed to give each other enough room on the straights instead of causing big, massive carnage crashes. So, like I said, got to take the positives from it.
You're doing the BSRTC on Thursday?
Yeah.
Oh, what have you?
BSRTC on Thursday.
Yeah, at this very circuit. Anything that you've learned from today?
Just try and stay out of trouble.
Yeah, I think that's
Sorry, I got a laugh in the background.
that's a perfect way to end. Well, I think one thing we will say though, I think next week's Interlagos as well, so it's probably going to be
I love Interlagos.
more the same. That's going to be good in the Mazda.
Yeah, I love Interlagos. Excellent track. Should be proper good fun. But like I said, great race with Steve and Stelly and Jack, all them lads. Sorry to the two more lads I took out in race 1 and 2 with my spin. Like I said, I had no one to blame but myself.
There we go. Well, before we let you go, Adam, do you want to send a quick shout out to anybody?
I'll just a quick shout out to everyone who runs the league. You guys for doing the broadcast, because it's always great to watch back. And just the usual sponsors, everyone who sponsors the team. And that'll be it. Thanks.
Great. Well, yeah, great to talk to you as always, Adam. And yeah, I think well, hopefully you can get the memory of the first two races out of your head, and yeah, hopefully the fortunes turn out well next week at Interlagos.
Just need to go and hide. Hang my head in shame and hide somewhere.
Great.
Right.
Great. Cheers, Adam.
Right, thank you.
Nally there. We do have Josh Thompson waiting to talk to us, Chaz. Don't know if you want to drag him up. We've also got Craig Evans, Jordan Giddings as well. So take your pick.
Yeah, we'll drag two-time race winner tonight, Josh Thompson, with us. And Josh, you obviously won race 1 in good fashion, and the frantic race 4 of the night turned your luck around because 2 and 3 didn't go too well. How do you feel overall?
I'm a bit relieved, to be honest. I was after race 1, I was quite happy. To say my team result is an AM team, so usually they're more in the reverse grid. So I usually have to work on my own. So I have to play it all out strategy-wise in my head, like who I can work with, etc. So to get the race win in race 1 just by picking my time was quite handy. When race 2 and race 3 were just absolute nightmare. And I said to the guys, if I didn't get reverse pole, I wasn't going to waste my time getting taken out in race 4. Like in both times by people who've been spun around in the middle of the track and just had nowhere to go. So I was quite happy. I had to make my own luck in the final race. I had to force a few issues, but end of the day, the result's the result.
Yeah, we saw some really frantic racing in that last one, especially with Nathan Davis, who we were saying you have got a bit of a history within BSR, yeah. But you could tell the body language of the racing was very fierce, but it was very fair though. I think the contact in the end was with Davis and I think it was Cooper. But how did it feel racing Nathan that closely? Is there a sort of grudge going on, or is it more of a sort of a banterous thing?
I think that last year I was just so childish and immature, just doing so many stupid stuff. I just didn't need to do some of the moves I did last year on him. So fair enough. I think he had a grudge against me then, but we sorted it out over the winter. So obviously there's always going to be that clash when you've had something with someone before. So it was like, you could tell straight away, as soon as I got to the front, Nathan wanted to be back at the front, I wanted to be back at the front. So don't get me wrong, it was really enjoyable. And it actually had to make me really think on how I had to play it through. So I got to give hats off to him because it was great fun, and same with everyone at the front.
Yeah, it's always good to see that it's been resolved, and it showed though, because your racing was very close, so it was very entertaining from our aspect, and I'm sure everyone watching on the iRacing Esports network as we are tonight, if I can say it properly, will have enjoyed that as well. Before we let you go, Josh, is there anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, first off, it's a bit random, but I want to say sorry to Craig because I gave him a little tap into the carousel. I didn't mean to, and he did a fantastic job in that race, got back many places. So I feel quite bad for that, especially if I've been told that he was quite mad about it. So just want to say sorry for that first off. You guys for a great broadcast always, and Result Clothing for letting me run those boys this season.
Brilliant stuff. Well, good luck for next time at Interlagos, and we will hopefully speak to you then, mate.
Yeah, thank you.
Josh Thompson there, very, very talented driver, and he's always up there near the front, isn't he, Adam? And he's always fighting for places, even if it seems like the move might not be on. He just sort of makes it work, doesn't he?
Yeah, always good to talk to Josh. Always as a route planned out for the whole evening, really, and yeah, he was able to get that win in the end in race 4. I managed to dodge quite a lot of very heavy Mazda MX5 shaped bullets that were getting thrown his way during the course of the evening. We do then have one more driver waiting to talk to us. In fact, we have two, don't we? We have Craig Evans and Jordan Giddings waiting to chat. Giddings finished in race 4 in, as he scores at the timing order, 20th place. And they are 2 teammates, of course. So I think we could probably grab them in together for a quick word.
There's something funny about this actually as well, because I was told by a Mr. Giddings, who joins us in the booth now, that Craig Evans, you've been sacked as crew chief. Apparently, he told him it was the last lap, and it wasn't.
Who said that? That's nonsense. Utter nonsense. Don't know where you get your information from, Chaz.
Defend yourself. That was horrendous.
The game's broken. I pay all this money and it can't even tell me the time properly.
Well, you had a very eventful evening, as it seems. How did you feel it went? Talk us through it.
I only saw lap 1. I never saw past lap 1 twice. So I was, actually, it was as much as crap as the results were. I actually quite enjoy this layout of Watkins. It's got to be my favourite. It always produces really close, tight racing, no matter what car you're in. So yeah, you're always going to have accidents. Like I know Josh mentioned him. I've been trying to wind him up, but he's avoiding me. Josh mentioned their collision in the last race. So it happens when you're so close like that, bumping people down the straight. It's part of it. I love racing this circuit. 9 times out of 10 get bad results because it's so tight, but it's just it always provides great racing regardless.
And how did you feel it went tonight, John, overall?
Mate, I love this place. This was an enjoyable night's racing. Yeah, it didn't always go to plan, but really enjoyed it. Some real fair battling. I think we was going through the S's on the first lap on the last race, and Evo said on the Evans, Craig, whatever you mean. He's not used to Evo yet. I've introduced it. Yeah, and he just said the spatial awareness was knob on, and it really was, because you're going through, and this place everybody knows it's just Draft City, and it was good. It's good fun, and well happy obviously with race 3 getting a 5th. So I would regard that as probably my best race in this series so far. So yeah, enjoying, mate.
Well, we were saying partway through that it seemed that this track actually really suited these cars because it's quite a short lap and obviously not many corners, so most of the opportunity does come from the slipstream, in which it sort of it leveled it out a nice bit, didn't it? It was it was the great sort of equalizer in the whole thing. I've just been told as well we've lost pictures, unfortunately. I think we've had a HD CP error, is it, Alex?
Mm-hmm.
We're
okay though.
Apex Racing Radio we are now.
Nice.
But yeah, do you feel that the track suits the car? Would you
I think
recommend it again?
Yeah, 100%. I think it played right into the car's hand of trying to carry corner speed, trying to little braking, lot of neutral throttle, trying to carry the speed out the corners and being smooth. And that just plays into this car's hand. If you're having to chuck, yeah, it's great to chuck about. It's a great little car, obviously, like a go-kart sometimes. But because the power's not there, you have to keep the speed up. And that's something that these last 2 tracks have really taught me, is minimum speed is the term that's going through my head all the time now, is because you can't scrub speed off in these things. And these last 2 tracks have been absolutely brilliant for this car, I think.
Yeah, the car itself always does good racing. I think we've seen from the couple of seasons we've done in the MX5 now that you could put it on any circuit and you're going to get some good racing just because of how little power it has. It keeps everyone close together, and it's all about carrying momentum. But you have to shout out the track on this one. I think, like I said earlier, this version of Watkins always produces good racing. I remember going back to the Club Series days that we did, Chaz, in the Kia. God, love that. And the Kia around there was fantastic as well. I think so. You can put any car on this track and it'll be excellent to watch. But I think just the combination of the MX5 and Watkins Classic is, I don't think I'd ever get tired of doing competitive racing around there like we did tonight, because even if you have a bad race, the part you are racing is just excellent fun.
Yeah, it does seem that way. It looks it's been certainly great to watch, and we really appreciate it as well. It's been great to commentate on. It's Interlagos next week, which maybe it's a bit of a different beast, really. There is obviously a lot
different.
There's a lot of undulations and things which the MX5 might handle well, and it might not. Obviously, some of it's fast downhill, some of it's fast uphill. So, how do you reckon you'll get on there?
Love Interlagos, so probably terrible as always, but I like the circuit, so it should be good fun. I don't know how the car's going to cope. Like you say, it's not really a circuit that would be suited to the MX5, but we've done Spa in this car and it was excellent fun. So Interlagos is a big beast like that one, so I think it'll be it'll be good. Just got to carry. It's all about momentum. I think that's the main thing. The key word in this car, and pretty much any circuit, big or small.
If the racing's clean, it's any track's brilliant. When it's clean racing in this car on any track, it's good. Even them ovals, it's such good fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it does seem like a fun car to drive. I've put a lot of laps in the rookie series in iRacing, and yeah, you do get some really competitive stuff. It's a nice leveler, but yeah, we hope you do well in Interlagos, boys. And before we let you go, is there anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, first of all, shout out to you guys for the broadcast. Obviously, we've seen it's on the iRacing Esports Network, so that's a great achievement in itself. So it's a testament to kind of how good a job you guys do. Also, well done to the organisers. We're on our 4th season of this, so they've done well to keep it running for so long in a car that everybody's driven to death, really, on this sim. And a thanks to sponsors as well, GT Omega, for kind of helping us through all the various series we do. Alibi, Slogan, Stitch, and also everyone in the team as well for sticking with us.
Cracking stuff. Well, best of luck for next week, boys, and we'll hopefully speak to somebody of them.
Hopefully. Catch you later.
Well, mate. Keep well.
Cheers to those guys. We have overran a bit. It's now 10:30, but great to have the thoughts of drivers in this series. And yeah, we are just about out of time. So my thanks to Chaz and my thanks to Alex for joining me in the commentary booth this evening for 4 fantastic races here around Watkins Glen. And if you enjoyed tonight, you can head over to Apex Racing TV, where we'll be at this track again on Thursday for the British Sim Racers Touring Car Challenge, second race meeting of the showdown. Those drivers that made it through round 1 at Road America without incident, get ready to do it all over again at Watkins Glen. It's going to be great to watch, and you can see it from 8:15 Greenwich Mean Time on the channel. But what's left to say is my thanks to Chaz, my thanks to Alex for being on the cameras and for his contributions during the evening. And we hope to see you again on the iRacing Esports Network next week when the BSR Mazda MX5 heads to Interlagos. But for now, bye for now.
The following is a presentation of the iRacing Esports Network.